In this exercise, we're going to be using the curve tool to create the top of an ice cream cone. And they've provided us with a template here that's going to help us trace all the shapes. Before we get started, remember when you're working with the pen tool, it's easiest if you turn off the fill so you have a fill of none. So I'm going to have a fill of none, keep the stroke at 1 point, and it's going to make my life a lot easier as I work around with this tool. They've provided for us a template that has letters of the alphabet to follow, going from A through K. So we're going to start at point A. I'm going to put my pen tool tip down. Notice how my pen tool has the asterisk or the star by it to indicate that I'm starting a new path. I'm going to put my mouse down on that square there, hold my mouse button down and slide down towards the red spot for point A. That's how my mouse is going to indicate the curve. So I'm sliding out to that red spot on point A, then I release my mouse and come over to point B, and again I'm going to set my mouse button down and slide out to the red dot. And in the real world, of course, we don't have these helpers with the dots, but here to get the shape to match theirs, we're sliding out to that red dot and release your mouse. Then we're going to go to point C and slide out to the red dot. Now at this point, we have to change corners. We're going from a curve, an ice smooth curve, into a corner. And even though I slid out to the red dot to form the second part of that curve that runs from B to C, now I need to turn the corner. Remember, I'm going to hold either my Alt or my Option key down and bend that last direction point down towards the gold spot. And then lift my mouse finger before my Alt finger or my Option finger is lifted up. Now no fingers pressed down. I'm going to go down to point D and make a very small little pull with the direction point. And here in this case, we're going to create another corner, and for this one, because it's going to truly just be a regular corner, they're just having us do a simple click on point E. Kind of unusual, but it does work. Then we're going to move over to point F. Now see, if I were to click again, it thinks that's going to be a straight segment, but it's not going to be a straight because I'm going to go to point F and set my mouse button down and slide towards the red dot. Then go to point G, slide towards the red dot. Go to point H, slide towards the red dot. Now look here. Here we see that we have to create a corner. There's a gold dot there with a dashed line going up to the gold dot. That's an indicator to me that I need to hold down my Alt or my Option key and bend that direction line to a new direction so it can form a curve that comes out of a corner. So I'm going to lift my mouse finger up before my Alt finger, then go over to the next point, point I, set my mouse button down and slide towards the red dot. Again, there's a gold dot there, so I have to hold Alt or Option down and bend that direction line up towards that new gold point. Going over to point J, very similar thing happening here. We're pulling a small distance here because the curve between I and J is very small and a slight slope to it. But now I have to pull this side a little further, so I'm going to hold my Alt or my Option key down so I can pull out towards the gold dot. And then to create the curve, or to finish the curve from J to K, I'm going to set my mouse button down and slide down to the red dot. Now in the real world, you don't have these dots here to help you know how to draw. Instead, you'd watch your curve you're drawing. So try to think about the curve instead of the dot as you're pulling. Here, I've still got my mouse pushed down. I'm going to hold my Alt or my Option key down and bend that up so I can have a corner there. Bend that up towards the gold dot. And the last one, they've even got the word final down here. I'm going to go back to point A. Two things have to happen. I have to first make sure that I get exactly on point A, and I'll know I'm there when I see a circle grow out at the bottom of my mouse. And then I hold my mouse button down, and instead of pulling down and to the right as I had done originally, this time I'm pulling this one down and towards that gold dot there near the word final. And I have my, I made a mistake there. We're going to try that again. I just did a Command Z to go back again. Coming back in here now with my mouse held down. I want to hold my mouse button down and now hold my Alt key down and bend that down to create that corner. The first time I did it, I did not have my Alt key pressed at the proper time. So now I lift my mouse finger up and then my Alt finger up, and I'm going to Command click on the outside edge. I can see my path there. If I go get my regular selection tool, I can see that it is one complete path. I'll undo that with the Command Z. And that is how we draw our ice cream. I'm going to stop that and you can try it now.